Welcome back to News Across Nigeria, where we tell you what's happening now across the Nigerian Federation. Now, this isn't a good time for illegal structure owners across Ogun State in southwest Nigeria, as the state government says it's ready to enforce the physical and urban planning laws of the state. The State Commissioner for Physical and Urban Development, Mr. Adebola Adefe, handed down the warning after officials of the ministry sealed off about 10 illegal structures in certain areas of the state. He asked residents and property owners to build properly and ensure appropriate documents and approval is obtained before embarking on building their structures.
We cannot continue to allow people to just start building without getting approved plan or without paying for them. And so it's like you are coming in through the back door while other people are doing the right thing. We must cultivate the habit of doing the right thing at the right time. The level of impunity on illegal structures in Ogun State is really worrisome. And to this end, that's what you are witnessing today. These individuals, corporations or individuals, have refused to really regularize their paper. They were supposed, before they even start building, to bring all their documents. You know, we have well over 20 zonal offices across the state. They can either go to the zonal office or come to Okemoson, which is the state office, and get their papers right.
To the north-central part of the country, as part of moves to ensure total compliance to government-stipulated prices on the sales of petroleum products in Kogi State, the Department of Petroleum Resources has sealed about 10 fuel stations across the eastern senatorial district for overpricing and illegal operations. The state controller of the department, who led the team along with some of his staff and some pressmen to Anyigba in the Kina local government area, said the DPR will no longer tolerate marketers who formed the habit of inflating the price of fuel or a fuel station operating without licenses.
In spite of the federal government's directive to petroleum marketers to sell petrol at 86.50 per litre, many fuel stations are yet to comply with the directive. The Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, is going round the eastern senatorial district of Kogi State to penalize any marketer who violates this rule. Some of the filling stations visited not only sell above the approved pump price, but manipulate their pumps to sell below the quantity of fuel purchased by the customers.
Government wants to get fuel to the citizen at the correct price, but you unscrupulous marketers, you want to frustrate federal government. DPR is not going to allow this to happen in Kogi State and throughout the Federation.
The owner of this filling station claims he has old stock, and that is why he's selling above the approved pump price.
We got this one from at an exorbitant price, okay? So that is why we want to exhaust the existing stock, pending when we'll be able to, offload the one we got at a regulated price.
A mild drama played out at one of the filling stations. The attendants took off when they sighted the DPR team, but came back when the station was about to be sealed. Their station is sealed for ordering over 7,000 liters of the product, but their excuse is that their generator is bad.
Oh yeah, let's confirm if their gen is working. Let's confirm. Oh, we are going to charge you for hoarding petroleum products. You want to frustrate the federal government?
No.
DPR will say no. DPR will say no.
No, we have sent for the mechanics. We have sent for the mechanics.
This is a deliberate hand.
These fuel stations are sealed for operating illegally. From one fuel station to another, the team moved in search of violators.
For those that are caught with the hoarding petroleum products, they will pay 2,000 per litre of the quantity they ordered.
The DPR says it's not taking anything to chance and is warning marketers that sanctions will be meted out to anyone who refuses to comply with the new pump price of 86.50 naira per litre.
There is an exit.
Now to the northwest, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has reassured officers and men of the service that their welfare remains a major priority of the current administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Air Vice Marshal Abubakar gave the assurance that the commissioning of a 250-bed capacity hostel, accommodation and other projects at the Nigerian Air Force Base in Kaduna State. Air Marshal Abubakar explains that efforts are also made to provide decent accommodation, healthcare services and welfare for his men across the country as a way of boosting their morale in the war against insurgency in northeast Nigeria.
Insufficient accommodation for officers and men of the Nigerian army has remained a major challenge the rank and file have had to contend with for some time now. Upon assumption of office last year, the Air Force boss commenced the construction of more hostels to ensure a good and healthy life for his men.
Today's event signifies our renewed commitment towards fulfilling the mandate of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, to the service chiefs to take welfare and motivation of their personnel as a cardinal trust of their administration.
To the glory of God and to the advancement of education within the Air Force and in our country in general.
After commissioning the projects, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, who represented Governor Nasir El-Rufai, commended the Nigerian Air Force for the successes recorded in the renewed vigor of flushing out insurgents in the northeast and cattle rustlers in the northwest zone.
Let me use this opportunity to enjoin officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force to put all hands on deck to ensure the actualization of the Chief of Air Staff's vision of uplifting the Nigerian Air Force to an enviable height. As professional soldiers, your calling requires integrity, obedience, loyalty, and high standard of discipline in the discharge of your duties. To the glory of Almighty God.
Other projects commissioned are the extended Old Kaduna Airport runway, 1 million litre water reservoir, 2-bedroom, 3-story accommodation for non-commissioned officers, all constructed through direct labour.
Are you good to go? Good to go, good to go, sir! Are you motivated?
The contribution of Nigerian security forces in containing the Boko Haram insurgents cannot be overemphasized. But for them to effectively discharge this constitutional role, such welfare packages can come as a motivation.
Finally, 3 indigent widows in Anambra State have become proud owners of modern bungalow houses. The wife of Anambra State Governor, Mrs. Ebere Obiano, made the donation through her Caring Family Enhancement Initiative called CAFE, handing over the keys of the buildings to the 3 women in Alo, Agulu, and Inri communities in Idemmili South and Aniocha local government areas. Mrs. Obiano says she will not let the challenges of lack of basic necessities of life like food, clothing and shelter roughen the lives of the less privileged in society.
Giving to vulnerable members of the society is the central thrust of the Caring Family Enhancement Initiative, a non-governmental organization run by the wife of the Anambra State Governor, Ebele Obiano. Widows who are aged and indigent to Anambra State are the latest to receive something special from the NGO. 3 of them, resident in different parts of Idemmili South local government area of Anambra State, received new homes to help them through their trying times. Wife of the governor, her entourage, and one of the beneficiaries, Mrs. Rebecca Ekezie, danced to the location where the keys of a bungalow were handed to her.
I am so happy. In fact, I was close to tears when I saw what was obtained before we had this. So I thank God for the life of Mama Rebecca, that God brought my people here. This place is quite hidden. So I was wondering how they actually came in here. That means they did a good job.
It's amazing. It's wonderful. You know, I didn't expect it. You know, when I heard that this kind of thing was being done here, I said, well, till it finishes. So I'm happy. It's happening in my local government, and like Her Excellency said, it's still going to go around other local governments.
That was a law community, from where they moved to Agolu, where Mrs. Helen Okafor got her own keys to a modern bungalow. Inri community was the final port of call, where, again with songs, the governor's wife was received by the people. Here, the beneficiary, Mrs. Catherine Ibekwe, jumped for joy as she received keys to her new home. The concept of the housing projects, which is still in the first phase, is a bungalow with 2 bedrooms and a parlor, alongside other necessities, including a borehole to supply water to the house and to other residents of the community.
More grease to the elbows of the wife of the Anambra State Governor, Ebele Obiano. You're watching news across Nigeria, and we have come to close for this edition. Thank you for being with us. I'm Olumide Macaulay.